Alright, so if you've been any bit active in the PC building, or even just PC space, you'll know that RAM has mainly gone into shortage. Barely any people can find it at reasonable prices. Like Salem Techsperts has cut productions on his ThinkPads, which is really annoying, because I think that's a great motive he has, and yeah, so it's really destroyed everything. But I have a couple of solutions. Just before I start, I do want to start by saying that this is my opinion, this is my solution, this is kind of like tacky, but it's a solution, and in my eyes it's a good one. Even SO-DIMM at 16 gigs from Crucial is €190, which is about $220, and Crucial's gone as well. What they're gone. And even here, when it gets to DDR DIMMs just for PC, 32 gigs is 400, and that's on the cheap side, which is insane. And this also does apply for parts like SSDs. If you told me in the summer of this year that one Faxiang SSD would be $150, I would think you're insane. And as always, graphics cards have to go up in price, but they're always high in price. Like they're just go back to the GT 710. Anyway, here is where my solution comes in. Well, solution is a bit of a push, but just hear me out. Alright, hear me out. This is where it starts. This is a headless laptop. So basically the screen has been taken out of it because it's broken. It has an i7-9700H, which is okay. Like it's just cutting the minimum for Windows 10. It has 8 gigs of RAM, which again is little, but look at that. 150 or 175. This is where my theory is coming in. Or even take a look at this. This is a i7-10750H with a 2070 Max-Q, which is plenty for people, 16 gigs of RAM and a 512 gig SSD. This is where my theory comes in. Let's say you buy something at around 200, right? Just keep it even. That's half the price of 32 gigs of RAM. You're getting a laptop and all you need is a monitor. Now, before the keyboard warriors start, hear me out. Take the laptop apart, 3D print out a frame, and put air coolers on them and overvolt them. Now, dependent on the brand, you mightn't be able to overvolt them. That's where the plot holes come in to my lovely plans. But a RTX 2070 Max-Q or whatever it's called is plenty for so many people. So big shout out to that's Japanese, and I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but this guy for this video. But what I'm saying is, this is Cyberpunk running on these specs, the exact specs of that laptop, and let's see how it does. So this is it running at low settings, some medium, very few at medium, where it's getting a decent 60 FPS, stable enough. It's around 57, but I mean, look at this looks fancy to me. And even in less intensive areas, you're getting 88 FPS, which, look, it's not great by modern means, but for a single player game, I'm pretty sure Cyberpunk is, I've never played it, 88 frames is fine. Try play most games on a modded PS4 at 30. Now, as you do put the settings up, it does get slow, and I'm not going to say no to that. But 42 FPS, that's like the Switch 2. Does the Switch 2 run at 60? Drop it in the comments. I don't really know. But yeah, 37 FPS at max settings is pretty good. I'm pretty sure this max settings are high anyway. And look at that, there's reflections on everything. That looks fancy. And as I said, that's near enough half the price of a DDR5 32 gig RAM kit. And not only that, you are also getting the SSD in this, the GPU, and the processor, which all would usually add up to around 900. So, I know this sounds absurd, and I know for some people this just isn't feasible at all, but an i7-10750H is still really good today. A Max 20 whatever it is still really good. And 16 gigs of RAM is usable, dependent on what OS you go for. So let's say you were willing to spend $500 on one of these laptops. You can get a lot. Now, looking here, this is on bids, but this is a battery issue. It has an i9-13900HX, 16 gigs of RAM, which is subpar to be honest at this specs, an RTX 4080, and 1TB SSD. You could even just take the battery out and just plug it in as normal. For example, looking here with DLSS quality on, again thanks to Gaetun for this video, but at high settings with DLSS on, it's getting 100 FPS, which is insane. Like 100 FPS, come on, that looks cool. And that's not even including overvolting. Now, you won't get much of a performance increase, but it's still an increase, and you should take it because, well, why not? And you can also customize the design to any way you want. You can make your own PC case for it. And I just think it's really fun because you're getting a project out of it and a decent PC. Now, where does this idea fall through? It's at the fact that it's very DIY. You need to know how to overvolt everything. You need to know how to build the PC case, even 3D model. You could commission someone, but still, you also need to buy a 3D printer or have someone 3D print the model for you. You could do it out of wood or something, but still, that wouldn't be ideal. And you need to buy air coolers on top of it. And while it does seem like a good plan on paper, there is a lot of loopholes through it. And as well as that, some people need full gaming performance. But if you do need a PC, like very emergency kind of PC, it still is an option and you don't even have to go through the whole case method. If it has a broken battery like that one there, you could easily just use it like that and take the battery out. Now, if you are on a really tight budget and you still want a game, I have one more solution for you. A PS4 is probably one of your best bets, because if we look here, this is a PS4 for, what is that, 55. 55 for a PS4. This is still supported. Well, I think it just got cut off, but this is decent. Like, this is decent hardware, and you can even run Linux on these through methods, which I can't mention on this channel, but if you know, I'm going to say BD-JB. Look that up. But a PS4 would be near ideal for most people because it has enough performance, it's cheap, and you can do a lot of stuff on it. Now, albeit the Linux on it is pretty tacky, but I mean, it's still an option. Now, thanks to Digital Foundry here, we can see that the PS4 does hold up 30 FPS at the following specs. It's not great, but look at the Switch 2. It's better than a console that near enough just came out. It's insane how well the PS4 has actually held up if you think about it. So that's it. I know I'm getting slimed for making this video because people are going to disagree, but I don't care. That's my method. I think if you are willing to do it, it could work out. And if you do end up doing this, please drop it below or share it somewhere and tell me, because I'd love to see it. I'd actually love to see that. And I wouldn't mind doing it myself in the future, but I'm working on so many projects right now that I kind of have to group them together. But yeah, thank you for watching this. And this video was actually going to be putting Linux on this, which is probably going to be next week maybe. But I don't know because of schoolwork. And I just want to say thank you so much. We are at near enough 1,700 subscribers. 1,700. Put that into your mind. A room of people with 1,700 people in it. That's just insane to me. And I just want to thank you. So yeah, go have a good day, do whatever, and goodbye.